Okay, folks, we're about ready to start. Thanks so much for reorganizing yourselves to make this work a little better. So my name is Ellie Horgan. I'm from Brookdale Community College in Lincroft, Associate Professor in Counseling, and I'm here with some of my colleagues who are from the Career and Leadership Development area of the college. The person on my left is Anne Laporta. She is Assistant Director, along with Jill Donovan, Assistant Director, and then Sarah McElroy, who is the Director of this department. So they were going to take you away to a real world.
I feel like a singer. Hi, everyone. So first, thank you so much for spending your Friday after lunch with us. We promise we're going to make it interactive and fun and hopefully give you some great ideas that maybe you're doing on your campus or someone's doing on your campus, or what you can encourage your students to look for on their campus when they hit the college level. How many people in here, just show of hands, are from like high school, part of a high school? Okay, and then college, higher ed? Okay, so a nice mix. So we're going to share what we've done in our office to try to get our students really excited about their kind of career journey while they're at college. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about it. And thank you for moving your seats to be some interactive activities. I'm not sure we have enough for everybody, so we're going to be really creative. If we don't, and I promise I will email anybody anything that needs anything. As Ellie said, my name is Jill Donovan. I'm the Assistant Director in Career and Leadership Development. I've been at Brookdale for about 15 years. I have my master's in counseling, so I'm really into helping students kind of develop their sense of self, who they are. And I think it's really important how they can start to think about what it is they're going to do. They need to figure out who they are. I love to say to students, how do you know what you like if you've never experienced half the things in the world? So we really try to encourage our students to gain a lot of experience. Little blurb about our office. We offer a variety of programs and services to really complement what they're learning in the classroom. We think it's really important when students are in college, obviously they're there for their academics, but we know that it's really important to do things outside the classroom as well. So our learning objectives today, I love it, there's a screen back there. We want to, well, hopefully you're all going to leave here knowing how to better engage your students, your faculty and staff in career exploration activities, learn the art of successful networking and how you can apply it professionally and personally, and gain the ability to create and carry out a comprehensive plan for your own school. So career exploration. How many of you are currently involved some way in career exploration? Every hand should be up. We're all involved in it. We are all. That's a trick question. So as I said before, up here is just a career planning model. And so really when we're thinking about career exploring, as I said before, it's really important that students explore who they are. And a lot of times, especially at the community college, we see students that come in who aren't really sure who they are. They're either coming from high school or they've been in the world and they're still not sure who they are. You know, they want to change careers. They want to do something else. So they need to figure out who they are. And so I was just in an earlier workshop saying, how can you ask somebody who they are? Like, I don't know who I am some days. But really trying to figure out who they are and what type of activities can we do to help students really explore themselves. We're also going to talk about how students can explore majors and careers. So that's a really important step in that whole career exploration. Teaching them how to set goals and then how to set action and take action on those goals. So we're very lucky at Brookdale that we have a course called First Year Experience. We actually, Ellie and Brian, where are they? They're two of our counselors at the college. We work closely with them. And we go into every First Year Experience class in the fall. And we talk to students that are taking it. It's not mandatory, but we really encourage every student to take it. But we talk to them about what our office does. And we start by asking them, like, who do you want to be? And that doesn't mean what do you want to do. It's who do you want to be? What's important to you? You want to go to the next one? So we want to make sure that they're using their values. So that's what's important to them. Because what's important to me might not be important to you, might not be important to you, but it's important to the person. And if it's important to you, we have to figure out a way for you to keep that in your life, either as your career or something you're going to be doing. So we did hand out a values assessment that in our HUDV classes, which is our first year experience, students do. It's part of a lesson that they do. So we're going to just take a minute. Hopefully everybody has a copy. If you don't, hopefully there's one on your table that you can look at. And we're just going to ask all of you to just take a minute to review that, fill it out. It's the one that says values. Let me say if somebody has one. It's this one. It says values exercise on it. If we ran out, I'll get one for your table.
I just want to make an announcement that I did talk to Dr. Harrington, and she's going to be putting everything online. So we'll have a copy of every single piece of paper that was handed out, because we do have a lot of handouts. So we wanted to be as green as possible, but also get you the information you need. So it will be online in a PDF format, so you can just download the whole packet.
So maybe I'll just go on so that those of you who don't have it don't have to just stare at each other or at me. So the values exercise really has students thinking about what's important to them. Oftentimes, if we start by saying to students, like, when you imagine what your life looks like, what does it look like? And sometimes, I'll hear, well, I live in a big house, or I'm married and I have a family, I have this, I have that. How did you get there? We almost want to start at the end and kind of back it up and think about it. And that might be the first time that a student is thinking about, well, my highest value is my family, but I say I want to be, in a career where I make a lot of money or I work a lot. And you really have to have that conversation and say, well, if your highest value is your family, how can you be working 22 hours a day? And they go, oh, okay. And I think it's really important to recognize that not all of our students have that conversation at home. Sometimes we're the person they're having the conversation with. When we go into the classes and we start talking about this, I feel like they're all kind of jovial in the beginning, and then I start talking and it's like their faces drop. I'm like, I'm not trying to scare you, but I want to be realistic. Like, you're here, you're in college for a reason, and now you have to do the work. And doing the work means you have to start thinking. You have to start thinking, what's important to you? What are your values? Because your values really continue on with what you want to do. Right? And it's going to be part of it. When we talk about finding happiness in a career, if you're not doing something that's associated with something you value, you might feel like you're missing that. Another good activity to do with students is, I think it's on the tables, I should have left something up here for me, is the interest assessment activity. Okay, so this is a really good one. Has anyone ever heard of the strong interest inventory? Okay. This handout, if you don't have it again, we'll have it up for you, is one you can do as a handout. It's not the official one, but it gives them a place to start. It gives them a place to say, wow, this is a really good career family I could start looking in. Or these are some interests I have. They all seem to be related. Maybe I can start exploring some careers in that area, because it's oftentimes so overwhelming. Students will come in, I want to do business. What do you want to do? I don't know. I want to be an accountant. Why? My dad's an accountant. They have no idea, and I have a 5-year-old, she's going to be 6 this week. I'm like, her job doesn't even exist, so how could she know what she wants to do? But it's really important that they start thinking about at least an area, right? Some kind of, we're talking about pathway, some kind of path that they want to continue getting to know more about, okay? I love this one. At our school, we do have the full career assessment. Students can take the strong interest inventory. They can sit and they can have an assessment of what their score means. They could take the Myers-Briggs. I'm sure most colleges offer that. Even there are free online assessments, even if you don't have access to the full testing. Take advantage of those. Use those. Because it's a place to start. It's just a thing to get them thinking, like, never even heard of that. Didn't even know that existed. And that's really important. So when we talk about researching majors and careers, make sure that you know what students can study at school, right? So if you're in higher ed, this sounds silly, but make sure you know what programs your college offers, right? So familiarize yourself with your catalog or wherever they can find their information about degrees. Because if a student comes to you and you're having a conversation and they were like, well, can I study this year? And you're like, oh, I don't know, you're gonna have to find out. We just roadblock them. So we wanna make sure that we're helping them as much as we can. And if we know what programs we offer and we know what those requirements are, we can at least kind of give them as much information as we can so that when they're there that day, they can leave with something. There are some great, reliable resources online. And I say that because when I ask students, have you ever looked up this career? And they say, yeah. I said, what do you do? Oh, it was on Wikipedia, or I Googled it. I'm like, I can put anything on Google. Doesn't make it true. So in our office, we use, anyone ever heard of the Occupational Outlook Handbook? It's like my favorite. I feel like a career nerd all the time with it. But if you haven't heard of it, it's an online resource. You can click on it. I actually have some stuff up here. But this is kind of what it looks like to them. Everything is clickable. They can look at anything. They can research. They can read more about it. I usually like them to do some kind of career assessment before they start looking at that. Because if you take a career assessment and you know you're someone who can't sit in an office, and you're reading through and they tell you this job is primarily 9 to 5 in an office, that might be a job that maybe we're going to put on the not so sure I want to pursue that career, okay? We also use ONET, which is, again, fabulous. If your student takes the strong interest inventory, it gives you like an interest code, okay? So that's that one I gave you guys. There's a real one, but I gave you one that you can use. But it gives you a key, like an interest code key. And then when you look up on ONET, there is a part of this that says interest. So whatever your interest code is, you can see if it matches. It doesn't, it's a good place to start. I say sometimes it's just a way for them to check off what they don't want to do, which is half the battle. There's so many things out there. And then we also use something called what can I do with this major? Because sometimes they have to declare their major right away. Financial aid, whatever the reason is, they have to declare a major. Maybe that's not what they want to do. Or they had no idea they could do that with this major, right? Like they really, really like this part of it, but they know they don't want to do this career. So that's a good one. It's all research and things they have to do. When we go into the HEDV classes, we created a career checklist. Sorry, I don't have enough copies. I only brought one, actually. But we'll PDF it. But this is actually, we broke it down by 4 semesters because we're a community college. My students think they're going to get out in 2 years. And I always say to them, like, what's the rush if you get out and it's not what you want to do? Like, let's figure out what you want to do. But we did break it down by 4 semesters for them so that they can think about what they should be doing every semester. So this is your first semester. Here are all the things you should be thinking about. Your second semester, here's all the things. And it's really like more credit-wise than semester-wise. If you're between 0 and 15 credits, you should be thinking in this section. And I have found that most students like that. They don't want to know everything they're supposed to be learning, but they're okay with this semester. What do I have to do this semester? Just tell me what to do, is really what they're asking us. I talked a little bit before about the experience outside the classroom, how important that is. I spent 14 years working in student life and activities. I feel like I'm the hugest outside the classroom experience person. But it is really important for them to do that because if they come and they're just in class and they leave, they are missing all this valuable experience. They are missing out on skills they could be developing, right? On other things they can be doing. They don't have to be working to gain experience. They could be volunteering. They could be in a leadership role. They could be part of a club or an organization. So we want to make sure that we're letting them know everything that's available to them. We also want to make sure if we are in a position to be creative with what we can bring on our campus, we're pretty lucky. We do a lot of workshops. We partner with a lot of people across campus so that we can be creative. We offer major fairs. Let students know, what majors do we even have here, right? They just have to come and then they can learn everything. We want to make sure that we get in their classroom, because sometimes they've blocked their schedule out and they can only go to class. So they really want to do that outside the classroom experience, but they don't have time, right? They have a family, they have other responsibilities. So we try to get in as many classes as we can. And Anne's going to talk more about partnering. We have an internship and career fair. Ours is next week, where we bring the employers on campus. And we do alumni panels, so we invite alumni back. And we've done a day in the life where they come in, or they actually go out and they partner with somebody. We do some broadcasts similar to TED Talks, where they can hear from people that are successful and kind of see all the ways they were unsuccessful before they got to be successful, so failure doesn't seem so scary. Has anyone ever done a vision board for yourself? If you've never done it, you should. It's so fun. But this is a great, great activity to do with students. If you're in high schools, do it with your students. If you're in college, do it with your students. So easy. We have an example of what we do when we do our vision board planning. All you need is glue, scissors, and magazines. That's it. And you make it a party. We put music on, we order food, and we say, think about what you want it to look like. Doesn't mean think about what job you want, but what do you want your life to look like? Like when you think about it, what does it look like? My favorite quote that I say to students all the time is, a goal without a plan, just a wish. If you don't start putting it down on paper, you're really wishing. You're not planning. There's no plan. And vision boards are really, really, really great activity to get students excited and thinking about what they need to do next.
Thanks, Jill. Can you hear me? I'm Ann Laporta. I am the Assistant Director of Career and Leadership Development, and have spent actually the last 9 years here now, almost 9 years, at Brookdale, working both on the job developing side, as well as now here in Career and Leadership Development. So I've seen a little bit about what employers are looking for, as well as now bringing the students and trying to make that match. So where career exploration is extremely important, career engagement is important. And that's something that we need to start, and we do start at Brookdale, as Jill said, from actually even before they get on campus. We have orientations and jump starts, and I know that one of the three of us are usually attending, mostly Sarah is there, introducing career and leadership development and telling them how important it is. Please stop by, visit us. Many times when we teach that one-year HUDV program, when you talk to the students about what career services is, they look at you. I don't know. That's where I'm going to find a job. It's so much more. So that's what we try to get across to them, is that we are engaging them to become participants in their own career development. Because I think it's so overwhelming. It's overwhelming. All these majors, all of these various careers and jobs that are out there, how do we get there? So by introducing them early and engaging them in all these different resources that we have and teaching them what those resources are, it's not so overwhelming. And those that engage early, you see, are getting those experiences and either transferring on to 4-year with a much better idea of where they want to go. Okay. So believe it or not, according to the American Association of Colleges and Universities, 40 to 50, this shocked me, 40 to 50% of first-year students, and I probably would say second-year students, not until you're ready to almost graduate, do you know and visit your career planning and your career services office? So, our goal is to change that. We want to see them, first semester. So reaching out to students early definitely introduces them to our career and leadership development and engages them and does not overwhelm them. Okay, what we offer. We offer so many different resources. When we really broke it down, I can't believe how many opportunities. Because when a student will come in and meet with us, they'll say, oh, haven't you attended a workshop? Or haven't you met with a faculty advisor? So we broke it down into hands-on learning. So if you come to Brookdale and visit us in Career and Leadership Development, as any student in any major, you can obtain an internship. We have education majors that are required to do field experience. So they need to do 60 hours in a classroom. This is before they were transferring, and doing student teaching. So 60 hours, I think, is an excellent opportunity. I always tell them, you're so lucky. This is built into your curriculum. You actually get to see if this is something you want to do, right, before you pursue any more time. Clinical. We have clinical in all of our healthcare programs. So you actually get to work in the hospitals. You get to work with the doctor's offices. You get to see what a health information technology program is like. Do you like technology? Do you like working with the patients? So you get that hands-on experience. We also offer service learning and student employment, on campus. Actually, we're even partnering with our criminal justice majors. Our police department on campus is going to be taking 2 interns. So that's a great way for a student thinking about law enforcement to actually get those, hands-on experience working on the campus as well as, with our police departments. Workshops. We offer, as Jill had mentioned, our first-year seminar. We come in class. We go to, actually, for the first-year seminars, we do go into every single first-year program and introduce career and leadership development. In class, we go to any classes that will take us and introduce career and leadership development and what we do. We have career readiness workshops throughout the year, resume writing, interview skill workshops, leadership development. We have a National Society of Leadership, which I know that Jill and Sarah will talk a little bit more in depth, but that's a tremendous resource. We have close to 2,000 students that are enrolled in that program. Career assessments, individual appointments. So students can come in and meet with us individually, and we will do a career assessment, sit down with them, and actually go over a career plan. Resume reviews, we spend a lot of time reviewing resumes, especially before students are interested in part-time jobs, internships, service learning, anything. We require them to have a resume. Job and internship searches, we help with that. Alumni services as well. We definitely work with alumni. I have many alumni that come back and are looking for a career advancement or maybe looking to change careers, and they utilize our offices. We have a lot of online services as well. Career and internship fairs, networking events. We bring employers. We do panels. Criminal justice, education. We just took a panel of our students over to Monmouth University to meet with students that have transferred from Brookdale to Monmouth University in various majors. We had education, criminal justice, business, and they actually talked about that college transition and what it looked like 2 years down the line. Job and internship database. We have an online College Central database that our students use, and we use it all the time. Faculty partnerships. I think it's fabulous at Brookdale, I have to say. I mean, it's amazing. All of our faculty are more than willing and helping our students get that hands-on experience. And they're actually an added resource for us. We were talking before about, partnering and partnershiping with your community. Well, if you can partner with your faculty members and your community and employers, these are great resources for your students to get in there. Even if it's for a 15-week internship, it gives them that taste of it's something that they like to do. So we kind of culminate all of this all together in March. So March is what we call Career Month at Brookdale. And we have probably, oh my gosh, yeah, this is the end. Actually next week is the end. We have about 20 different programs between workshops and online, but we started, as I said, on March 1st. We took a panel, a group of students over to Monmouth University. We've had resume writing workshops. Actually, I'll pass this around. We post these all around campus. We did a LinkedIn workshop. We're actually going to have, it's back by popular demand, so we're going to do another next month. We have a marketing, a dress for success, marketing yourself. You're the CEO of you. How do you present yourself in an interview? We're having a mock interview career fair next week, and then it will end on the 30th with an actual career and internship fair, which we're pretty excited about. Okay. So we talked a little bit about some of the things that we do, and we talked a little bit about the mock career fair, which we're going to be holding next week. So we thought that it might be fun if we tried it on you. Because for our students and for everybody, job fairs, career fairs, they're scary. And they really have no idea, in some instances, what employers are looking for, what skills, as Jill had touched upon, what those transferable skills are. So this is an opportunity for them to have that resume and be able to get that few minutes in front of an employer and be able to talk about their experiences and learn a little bit about how important soft skills are. We talked about that in my first workshop this morning. Soft skills are just as important sometimes as those technical skills, and they need to be honing those from the get-go. So what we thought we would do is divide everybody. Everybody should have.
Yeah, we had to adjust. We were going to have you move around the room, but because this is such a large room, we thought it might be easier for you to do this activity at your table. So those with an employer sticker, there should be either one or two of you at each table. You are responsible for hiring part-time positions, full-time positions, or internships in your industry. So for the purposes of today, if you can imagine whatever industry or employer you might be. And it really, honestly, it doesn't matter necessarily what your industry is, because our students aren't going to know what industry you're from until they come up and talk to you, right? So if you can have just a picture in your mind, whatever you'd like it to be, could be fashion. Jill and I always joke that we would open like a shoe business, and we might be a fashion employer because it's just so fun. But so, you can really have an image in your mind of what you're looking for. For my students, you have a hard job, right? So you are our students. You don't know what employer you're going to be talking to. You also have had one job so far, and your job is related to the letters on your sticker. So if you have a S and a CA, so S is for student, so anyone with an S is a student. CA, you have been working as a cashier. CH, you have been working in childcare, so you've been babysitting. For B, you have been a bank teller. H, you've been a hostess at a restaurant. P, you've been delivering pizzas. And S, you've been a security officer. Okay, so this is a stretch, I know, but many of our students tell us these are their jobs, and they cannot see how impossible it is that they would connect to what they want to do. Our job is to show them that they have transferable skills. So for the purposes of today, for my employers, you're looking for students to come up to you. So my students, you got to take the initiative, and you have to really make the effort to talk to an employer at your table. Sell yourself, right? Come up with that kind of elevator pitch for yourself. Be creative. Obviously this is for fun, but we're trying to simulate something here. So we're going to give you about 5 minutes to do this, and then we're going to have each table report back to us. So have something that you can, report back to us. All right, so ready, go.
Okay. Everybody finished? That's about as much time as an employer will have, or a student will have in front of an employer, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have all of the employers stand up. Okay. Sarah's going to bring the mic around, but did any of you employers find someone you wanted to hire? Ah, okay. You want to talk about it? Could you tell us why? Why you decided to hire and who?
So I meet Tamika.
And who is the job? What was the job?
The job is...
You can't hear me? Okay, we're gonna listen.
So
Okay.
my company had different positions. One of the positions was outside sales. So I met Tamika. Tamika is a high school student. Very, very energetic and outgoing, communicative. She was on point, charismatic, all the qualities that an outside salesperson should have. So basically, I just hired her on the spot. Even though I told her that I would get back to her, in my mind, she fit all the qualities that I was looking for in an outside sales. She was very exciting about the job, especially thinking about getting on a plane. If she get to travel, can I get on a plane? Little things like that, the personality.
Okay.
That's part really worked. As an employer,
Yep.
I'm looking for that. That's the person that is going to go to one of my clients and sell.
Right.
She had that stale quality.
Well, we tell the students too that your attitude is real important, right? So that came through. You were on. Anybody else? Oh,
I'm the human resources person for a hospital, and I had this wonderful high school graduate so I had many different departments to choose from that I was recruiting for. And I got this very personable high school senior who had been working for McDonald's for 2 years before she graduated. She had to work to help save up for college and et cetera. And she was entrepreneurial. She had good social skills. And so there was an opening in the food services department for someone to start who would be serving patients. And I hired her because I thought she had all the qualities that would help her to move up forward in her
congratulations.
in her pathway to food services. She wanted to eventually start her own restaurant.
That's fabulous. Yay.
Yes, she is.
Good. Anybody else? Anybody else? Oh, she's walking around. Oh, go ahead. Hi.
I am the coordinator of the behavioral department at St. Mary Hospital, and we were looking for a adolescent counselor that's willing to observe the behavior of teenagers from 11 to 17 years old. I found my candidate right here, so I hired right on the spot because she has experience before as a nanny, and she was a nanny, or she is a nanny. She was a nanny of a child with mental disorders. So right there, she was a win-win.
Right.
For the adolescent
She could fill
residents at
that.
St. Mary's.
Because she had those transferable skills,
Exactly.
right? Great, excellent. Anybody else want to? Oh, we have one in the back. We'll take one.
Oh, come. Get my workout. Get my steps in.
Hi, I'm Dawn. I had 2 great candidates, and it was wonderful because I have multiple positions. I'm not that creative, so I didn't come up with a new job. I just worked with the job I have. And gave 2 positions for a mentoring job that we have, which is just a mentor. But both of the candidates, Charlotte and Alicia, were really great because they were able, one was security, but she did both because they didn't know what role they were interviewing for. They gave both sets of skills, and they both did this. They both did, more of the soft skills. I interact well with people. I'm a people person. I get along well. And then they did some tangible skills. I was a security officer, really good with giving directions, following directions, logging, cataloging, and then for the cashier, the same thing, really good with keeping good records. So because they didn't know, they did an excellent job of presenting both of those soft skills and tangible skills that were transferable.
It sounded like they were giving you examples of what they did and how they could bring that to you.
Does anyone else want to? We have time for maybe one more.
We were going to ask some students to stand up.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's
We could have a
nice.
couple.
All right.
The students stand knows a lot, but I just wanted to know how the students felt. Maybe you could just tell me.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this? How did?
I don't like microphones, but so one of the things that I was mentioning at the table was, it's been obviously I'm in a position that I had to interview for and go multiple rounds, and most of us may have gone through that. But thinking back to undergrad, and I never went to a career fair, so just watching this and participating, I had so much anxiety because I'm like, I don't really know what she's looking for, and what do you want, and what are you here for, what's your position? So I immediately felt just a little anxiety, not knowing what I was walking into. So, I'm like now, okay, I get what students may be feeling in terms of approaching employers at a career fair or job fair.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Like when I'm meeting with students and we're talking about networking, I'm like, so you just go up to them, you shake their hand, you smile, and they're like, I'm not doing that. You know, like and I'm like, oh, right. You've never done that before. Or that feels so unnatural to you, you know? But for myself, and I'd like to pretend I'm not as old as I am, but I have to really remember, what does that feel like to do that? Like as a brand new, never met with someone, I probably don't even own a suit or, you know, a nice pair of dress pants. We just did an event a couple weeks ago, and I told the students they have to wear, you know, something professional. And he said, jeans with no holes. I was like, okay, that's good. You know, but they don't know, you know. How do you know what you don't know if someone doesn't tell you? So we have to tell them. But I think that anxiety feeling is how most of them feel. Even like at the community college, we have a lot of returning students, and they feel it too, because it might have been a while since they were doing this kind of networking or career fair or any kind of interaction with someone who potentially could be someone that hires them.
Did any other students want to comment on the process? Yeah.
I think I did the same thing, try to remember actually being at that point. And as soon as he started talking about what they were looking for, I felt like I was way underqualified. And I even joked around and said, I think you're looking for the graduate school fair. I had the cashier, and I said my major is psychology, so I would love to be able to work in the hospital with this population, but I don't know. I don't have any experience of what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's a common feeling with our students too, is they feel like they don't have the experience that they need, and so they undersell themselves, because that's, you know, we're going to move on to the next activity in a second, but it's really to help the students not to feel so anxious and to be prepared with what to say in a career fair setting or in any networking setting.
No, I think like everyone else, that was my real first job. Like I remembered my very first job at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. I was a hostess, so I was actually thinking about it, hence you felt the energy. I was like, oh my God, that was really fun. But then the questions I was asking her were questions that I do mentoring, so the girls would always ask me about my work, like, when you travel, do they give you a car? How much do you get paid? Do you get to fly? Do you fly for free? So I was asking her stuff that the kids would ask me. I wasn't paying attention to her tag. So when I was talking about the skills that I felt like I had from being a hostess, and she was like, you would be great for sales. Inside, I was like, I don't want to do sales. But outside, I was like, okay, great. But I would have never, ever thought about going into sales. So I just thought that was kind of, that was just interesting that she pulled that out. And I was like, you think? I think I may have said, do you think, or are you sure? And she was like, yeah, like you have a lot of charisma. And I was like, okay. So it was a good activity.
By leading that, you know, you as a student, you may take that job, and that's your first. You maybe had no idea what a sales job would entail. So until you get in it, maybe do it as an internship or, you know, volunteer. Even, you know, we have a lot of students that do volunteering. That's what helps build up those transferable skills and helps them figure out, that's that career exploration. Is that something that I want to do, or do I want to move on to something else? So it's really, I think it's a really important exercise. And just getting back to our March Career Month, that is really the idea behind, I mean, we like to do it all year round, but that is one time when we can really offer all of these resources in 1 month and just, you know, build upon it till we get to that career fair, the end of March, where most students are just, you know, so nervous and anxious about it that by the time they get there, they have the dress, they have the resume, they've been through, you know, some transferable skills. We've gone over some career readiness skills with them, the soft skills. So by that time, it just makes it a little bit easier, and hopefully we'll take a little bit of that anxiety away. So we just did want to talk a little bit about transferable skills because it is such an important area. Well, transferable skills, what is that? They're areas of development that will transfer from one environment to the other, which we've just learned a little bit about. And employers, you know, being on an employer side for so long, employers are looking for that. So I really try to, when I have a student in front of me and they say to me, I can't do that, you know, I worked as a pizza, I was delivering pizzas. I don't have any time management skills or what. Of course you do, you know, we need to be able to feed them that information or give them an exercise so when they go for an interview, they can talk a little bit about, they can tell their story. Because all of us, when you go for an interview, we have to tell our story. We have to be able to relate what we've been doing to that job and pull skills sometimes from other areas, correct? So students, they're continually, as we all are continually developing our inventory of skills. As Jill had mentioned, and Sarah as well, you know, leadership, any workshops, any volunteering that they've done, all of those things are considered experience, and we try to get them to move those skills up to the tops of their resumes. There is a handout that I don't have time to really go over it, but it's called the STAR model. Has anybody heard of the STAR model? Yeah. I actually just used this last week. We did a LinkedIn workshop, or actually a branding workshop, but in it we used the STAR model to help teach the students how to develop a LinkedIn profile or how to start their own elevator speech, because by, you know, putting a situation and the task that you did in a position, writing an action plan and what the result was, it just makes it easier to put that out on a resume. So we do have handouts for that. Oh, yeah, and that was it. So, yes. You're going to review the, they all have it on there.
Yeah, so just to give you an overview of this next activity. On every table there is one half of a piece of paper, and it has little gray boxes on it. So what I want for you to do as a table is to look at the job that you've been given. There is a job title, and then there are also a few, there should be 4 duties that are associated with that job. Pretty standard. They're actually the same jobs that you were if you were a student, that you may be looking at your own job. And what we want you to do as an activity is to come up with the 4 transferable skills that a student would be able to discuss with an employer or to identify that position actually gives them. So think as a table, talk about it. We're going to give you 2 minutes to do this, so it's going to be a quick activity. And all of you should have, like I said, a short piece of paper on your table. You also have a longer piece of paper that gives you an example, so you can take a look at that. But start now. We're going to give you 2 minutes. Okay, everyone. So let me just get your attention back. So hopefully you had a good conversation at your table about the kinds of skills that would come from the position that you were given, transferable skills that our students can really play up. Does anyone want to give us their 4 skills that they've come up with, or a few skills and what the job was that you were looking at? Anyone want to volunteer? Do I have any volunteers? Okay, and if you just want to stand up and say what job you had, and then talk a little bit about the job duties and the skills.
Okay, everybody.
I got like volunteer for this.
Go
Okay.
ahead. What was your job?
We had cash.
Okay.
We had cashier. This is really loud. So the first task was handle cash and credit card transactions. So we put cash handling and math. The second one was work with customers. So we put interpersonal skills, customer service. Our third task was answer questions about products and locations. We put marketing and logistics. And then our last one was stock shelves. So we put detail-oriented and organization.
Excellent. That's great. Yep. Anybody else?
Anyone else? In here?
Hi. Ours was childcare. So the first task was ensure safety of children, responsibility, prepare meals for children. The skill was organization. The task was drive children to activities and sports, so we said time management, and help children with homework problem solving.
Excellent. Excellent.
Awesome.
So this
Anybody
is-
else?
Yeah, anybody else?
So we have the cashier. For the first task, handle cash and credit card transactions, a couple of skills we felt that were important, math skills and cash management. For working with customers, once again, several skills would be good interpersonal skills, customer service, patience with the general public, and listening skills. The next task, answer questions about products and locations. The skills we came up with were product knowledge, or the ability to understand different products, the motivation and initiative to get to know those products, and good memory skills. The next task, stocking shelves. The skills that we felt were important were good inventory skills, organization, and pride in appearance.
Excellent. See, so it's a great, oh, we have one more.
So we had the pizza delivery. One of the tasks was to deliver food items to a variety of addresses. So that, we said that he has to have good organizational skills and also a good sense of direction. For load, unload, prepare, and inspect and operate a delivery vehicle, operational skills. Collect payments, a good math and analytical to be able to count and keep track of the money, and also trustworthy. Be sure that the money doesn't disappear at the end of the day, and follow routes and time schedule, organizational skills again.
Awesome. I'm glad we heard from that one. I have to tell you that came from a real example when we were giving a classroom presentation, and a student said, it was in a criminal justice classroom, and Anne will remember this well. A student said, well, my only job has been delivering pizzas. How does that relate to criminal justice? And Anne starts saying, well, you know the community that you're driving around in, you know the streets, you know the organization of the streets and the, you know, the properties, and you're responsible. And I mean, just this whole list of transferable skills. And the student said, oh, wow, you're right. I'm going to put that on my resume. And we're like, yeah, you should. Definitely. But so hopefully out of this really mini exercise, you could even do this with your students. That's, you know, kind of, we wanted to give you things that you can actually sit down with a student and walk them through it, and that you'll see it in their eyes. They're, you know, all of a sudden they start to realize, oh, hey, you know what? I'm really organized because of this job. Like, I got this skill from this position. I never knew. And then they aren't underselling themselves when they tell an employer, yeah, I was a cashier, but now I have money handling. I'm responsible. I close a drawer out with $5,000 in it every night. You know, I mean, they have a lot of skills that they don't realize. And so really that's the whole point of this little mini exercise that we did.
And we really encourage our students in the beginning, when we go into all those first year experience classes, we ask them, how many of you have a resume? And if they don't have one, we're like, well, we can all have one today. We all know our names, our address, our phone number, our email. We can all start one right now. And then we're going to start adding to it, because it is much easier when you start to gain experience and network to have something. So if you meet the right person and they say, why don't you, send me over a resume, you're not scrambling and freaking out. You already know how you can add to it, because it really is a living, breathing document that we're going to have forever. And I love that activity, because usually when students do come into us, they say, well, I'm just a cashier, or I'm just this. And they kind of like, I don't have any experience there. Like, I don't know how I'll ever get a job in that field. I have to work right now, and the only job that works in my school schedule, is this. And then we start doing the transferable skills, and you just see, like Sarah said, goes across their face, their shoulders go back. They're like, okay, they can see how this part-time job that has nothing to do with what they want to do for a career, they can kind of make the connection between that experience and the transferable skills and how it's going to help them further down the line. And all of a sudden, they don't feel like just in anything anymore. That becomes a step for them. Like, I'm doing this in the time right now because I have a bigger goal in mind. But they look at their job differently, and then they really look at themselves differently. So I think the earlier we can have students start thinking about the skills and what that really means for them, the better. If we can get them doing this in like middle school, I don't know, how old are you when you start working,
early.
As soon as you start doing anything, just really trying to connect it to some of those transferable skills.
Okay, so I am now going to move us through our third topic, which is career readiness. So you're going to see that we've kind of taken you through a journey. We started when our students start with us at career exploration. What do we do with them when we see them for the first time, when they're through our doors for the first time? That second piece that we just heard about is career engagement. So this is what they're doing while they're with us in that time that they're spending at our colleges or in our high schools or wherever those students are at. And then really one of the last stages is getting them ready for their career. So connecting all of these pieces, combining the pieces to make the puzzle complete. So you're going to see career readiness. This definition that is up here on our slide is actually from the National Association of Colleges and Employers. Is anyone a member of that association? No? If not, okay, yay, Charlotte, hey. If not, what I would suggest is looking at their website. It's naceweb.org. They're an excellent organization. that we're a part of. I'm proud to be a part of it, and they are coming up with all kinds of new research on career readiness and what that means and how we can help our students to get there. So this is their newest initiative. So this definition up here is actually from NACE, and Jill's handing out a handout that's in blue, and again, that's something you can actually pull right from their website. It's free to get all of these kinds of information from them. And then the other thing that Jill's handing out to you is something that we're going to talk about in a couple minutes on leadership. So there are a few career competencies to get our students career ready. So NACE has come up with these competencies. You're going to see them listed on the handout that we did give to you. Critical thinking and problem solving, oral and written communication, teamwork, collaboration, digital technology, leadership, professionalism and work ethic, career management, and global and intercultural fluency. These, again, were developed by NACE, and these are areas that we can help our students to grow in right now when they're with us. These are not major specific, they're not career specific, but they are skills that employers are looking for in all of our college graduates. So just to give you an idea, when we found these career competencies and decided that we were going to strategically plan to introduce our students to what these competencies are and how to get them, we decided to come up with a career workshop series on career competencies. So we offered to our students this semester for the first time a certificate in career readiness. This way, it's a tangible kind of a thing that they can earn. They come to one workshop from each of the areas that we mentioned. So I'm going to go through and just give you a sense of what those workshops were so that you can start to think about partnering with people on campus or at your institution, creating this kind of a program, and then encouraging students to really attend. It gives them something to put on their resume. They can say that they're certified in career readiness. It means something to employers at this stage. So you can see the very first one with critical thinking and problem solving. We had I have 3 workshops that are listed here, but again, several workshops can be created and developed in each of these areas. So we had someone from our Director of Grants and Institutional Development give a workshop to our students on problem solutions and grants and how their grant development can help leaders become problem solvers. This was a really well-attended workshop, and to be honest, one of our students actually was able to apply for a grant after coming to the grant workshop. And was able to start implementing a grant to run a peer mentoring program on campus. So it was a really tangible thing for that particular student, but I think for all of them as well. We also have some of our assistant directors in the One Stop and our admissions office to provide teamwork kind of workshops where they actually work in teams to solve problems. Change management and leading change from director of our continuing and professional studies. So you're going to see partnerships in all of these competencies and career readiness areas that I'm going to be talking about, and I'm strategically showing you that because we can't do it alone. So our office is pretty much what you see here, plus 2 other people that aren't here today. So we are, working in as many ways as possible to get students involved. But we do need help. We want this to be a campus-wide program. We want for everyone to be involved. As Jill mentioned, we're all involved in the career exploration and engagement and readiness of our students. So you can go to the next slide. So for oral and written communications, we had a speech professor come in and talk about public speaking. Perfect. What better person to talk about public speaking for our students than someone who teaches it on a daily basis? Professional communication. Jill actually, I should take my name off of that because I did not give the presentation, but Jill did. And at this presentation, we're talking to students about professionally communicating. What does it mean to talk to someone orally and in email? Because we've all gotten those emails from students that don't start with hello, don't end with a name, and are written in a text language. And you think, who sent this? What are they asking? I have no idea what this means. And you email them back and you say, can you please tell me who you are? What is it that you want? And so we're really trying to teach the culture of professionalism through these workshops. With teamwork and collaboration, we had an excellent presentation from our Director of Student Life and Activities, Lauren Bretzman. She called it Stop, Collaborate, and Listen. So if anyone gets that, I didn't at first, but the song Stop, Collaborate, and Listen. Anyway, I had to do a little dance for that. This was an excellent workshop where she actually had an activity where students had to figure out what they were going to save. They were in a shipwreck, and there was this whole collaborate. It was very cool. I'm sure you've. Oh yeah, vanilla. Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, I know the song. I have no idea who does it. Okay, so Vanilla Ice. It's by Vanilla Ice. Our one-step team, they worked on making the team work. So you can see that there are workshops that fit into multiple categories, and that's another way to be able to offer all of these kinds of workshops. We also oftentimes do something on group dynamics and how students can work in a group. The digital technology piece was one that we decided that we could focus on social media for this because students really need to know how to be professional in social media. So we do workshops on LinkedIn, the professional social network. We also have done workshops in the past on making sure that your social media is career ready. So making sure that you don't have, in one of the previous workshops that we were just in this morning about, people were losing their positions based on things that they've posted that were so unnecessary. So showing students that you might not be doing it, but someone you're connected to might be doing it. And these are things that they're not necessarily thinking about in the first few years that they're with us, but when they're ready for a job, all of a sudden they need to go back and start looking at this. So we also partnered with our Innovation Center, and they offered some workshops on how to use technology to a student's benefit as a leader, and social media as well from them. And then leadership. So I have a lot to say about leadership because we've actually transitioned our office from career services to career and leadership development. So you're going to see on all of our materials that our office has shifted its title and its focus, and we've now included leadership development. It is one of NACE's core competencies, as you see on your list there, but it's also extremely important to the career development of our students as well. So as a vehicle for leadership development, we've brought in the National Society of Leadership and Success, which is a national organization. So we started our chapter in 2016, and we have currently over 1,075 student members, which was mind-blowing, I will tell you. We were kind of a little nervous about that number. As we saw it climb every semester, we said, what are we doing? So this has tripled, in theory, the number of students that we see on a weekly basis. And Jill gets to see all 1,075 of them, and she does a fantastic job. She did not know what she was walking into last March because Jill started in our office. She had worked at Brookdale for a long time, but started in our office on March 1st of 2016, which was literally the day we started our National Society of Leadership and Success chapter. And we had 465 students in the first class. So our students are actually forced to go through several steps, which encourages leadership development. So they do an orientation. They do a 3-hour leadership training day, and our community college students don't typically stand around and wait for something for 3 hours. But we've actually somehow been able to entice them with the idea that they are building themselves up as leaders. So they do stay for that. We offer them TED Talks, as Jill mentioned, kind of broadcasts from speakers that have gone through some trials or are successful, and they tell their backstory, so it gives students a context. And then we also have them meet with small groups of students in the society 3 times. And so that provides them with a network to continue to help each other achieve goals. So that is really our focus on leadership. So to go along with that, I have a mini quiz that we hand out to our students. So hopefully, if there are enough copies, all of you can start one. If not, if you want to just take a look at it. And again, it's something that we'll have Christine Harrington post online for you. But it is just a mini leadership style questionnaire that we provide to students so that they can really get a basis for what kind of a leader they are. So you're going to see there's 3 different leadership styles on the back. And as you go through, it's again one of those fun quizzes that just gives students a little bit more information about themselves. So this is one of the activities that we do. So if you want to take a minute just to do that really quick or to look through it. Okay, so hopefully, what did you say? Oh, I only wanted to give you 30 seconds. Normally, you would give a student a couple minutes to take this and then have a longer discussion about it, but I don't want to hold anyone past 3 because I know that's the time that we are trying to leave here. So just with the interest of time, I'm just going to get to the end so that I can leave it open for questions in case anyone has any. So if you want to go. So you can continue to work on it as I talk. So one of the other competencies is professionalism and work ethic. And I found this great quote that says, professional is not a label you give yourself, it's a description that you hope others will apply to you, especially, in my mind, employers and people that we're networking with to try to get our students hands-on experience. So we had one of our deans of academic and career transitions provide a workshop on ethics in the workplace, professionalism and work ethic by one of our event management administrators, and then career management. So as Anne mentioned when she was presenting, the career management competency can be achieved by a student attending any one of our events. So again, we've had kind of a rundown of events this semester. And actually, I'm sorry, these all happened this month, which was exhausting. So on Tuesday, we actually are holding our real mock fair for the students to try to get them the same, to the same level that you're now at with understanding the anxiety and the uncertainty that comes in a career fair. So we will be holding a mock career fair, and then on Thursday is our official career and internship fair for students. So hopefully at this point we've prepared them to actually, be out with their skills and their strengths and be able to talk about them. And then if you want to scroll. And then one of the last ones that NACE actually just recently added in the past couple of months is global and intercultural fluency. So this one talks about, we had some workshops about leading by example, understanding and practicing civility. This was through our student conduct and compliance office, as well as one of our counseling professors who's not in the room, he just left, but he was handing out some things for us. Where is he? Oh, you guys moved. Hey. So he's up there. And then we also often give workshops on building leadership skills, diversity engagement, and then Jill's given workshops on climate of care. And so this is, like I said, a rather new competency that they've just recently added. But again, we want to make sure that our students are getting opportunities to attend events and workshops in all of these areas so that we can provide them with a certificate for career readiness. So one of the things that was a thread throughout this whole, really this whole presentation is partnerships. So how can you bring these things to your campus? So we've given you some tools, we've given you some paper, we'll email you, and you'll be able to access some things online that you can do personally, but how can you bring this as more of a culture to your campus or to your institution? And so really some of our strategies for partnering with our faculty, our administrators, and our staff is to target specific people that you work with on your campus. You know who you work with really well, and maybe you're already partnering, maybe you're already doing a lot of these things, and it may just be that you want to increase the volume of them, or you'd like to try to engage even more students in these kinds of activities. So I always say it's a good idea to go to those people first initially and just say, hey, do you want to partner with me on this? I think this would be a great initiative for students, and usually you'll get a resounding yes. And what you want to do really moving forward after you've got people on board to help you from all different areas of the campus is really try to provide them with information about what you want. What are you looking for? So let them know that, hey, we want you to present on one of your passions or something that you're really great. We have a coordinator in our grants department who does an amazing presentation on grants, but also does an amazing presentation on healing. And she works on like neuropath, not good, natural medicines. She does just an excellent workshop on, and that's her passion. So she can provide multiple areas of workshops for us. So again, asking people what are things that they're good at, what do they want to present to students. I always find that you want to be as organized as possible in those kinds of conversations, reserving space or rooms ahead of time and saying, hey, can you pick a time out of all of these? It makes it a little easier. They don't have to reserve the room or space on campus to do it. Try to hold them all in the same room. This is something that Jill and I had started to do when we had a pilot leadership program. We held every workshop in the same room. And so students knew the Fort Hancock room in the Student Life Center was the room to go to for leadership. Didn't matter if they knew what we were presenting on that day, but they knew where to go, so they were almost always there. And then also brand, advertise, and market your workshops as much as possible. And then just a few other areas that we've partnered with. Our Student Life and Activities Department, we partner with them pretty heavily because they are able to really help us to get word out to students. They run our Student Life Board, so they have a good pulse on the students. So we offer a lot of workshops through them. And then also our Student Engagement Office, which is through our first year seminar, first year experience. They do a lot with graduation, so we like to partner with them to try to survey our alumni and our upcoming graduates to see, have they used their services? Do they have an internship? Do they have a job? How can we help them? We do send out an alumni survey typically in the summer to let students know that we have an online job and internship database for them that they can use as alumni and as students. So we try to stay in touch with those alumni as much as possible. One of the offices not on there is alumni. We do partner with them for our alumni panels. We partner with our International Education Center often, athletics, and counseling and advising. So these are just some areas that you can think about starting to create a partnership. All right, so this is a lot of information I know we've given you. These 90-minute sessions are pretty long, aren't they? So hopefully we've broken it up a lot for you with events and activities and some fun things that you can do with your students. But basically, what now? What do you do with all this information? Our hope is that you're going to bring these resources that we've given you back to your campus, use them with your students, recycle them, change them, do whatever you need to do to them. They're things that we have pulled together from different resources that work for us, and you may find that they work for you the way they are, or you may want to alter them a little bit, and that's fine. We all have different needs in our offices. Find out what's happening on your campus already. You may have a lot of this going on and just either not be aware of it or not necessarily be part of it, and that's really where you want to be. Join in. Encourage your students to attend career events. If you're partnering with faculty, see if they can offer extra credit or some kind of incentive to get the students to get there. We just recently had a career speaker on Thursday. Oh, that's yesterday. Wow, that seems like so long ago. Wow, whew, I feel like this has been a long day. I don't even know what day it is. So this is career month, that's why. But so yesterday, our career event, we had, what did we say, probably about 50 students there, which was excellent numbers for us. And really, a lot of it was we had 2 faculty members bring their whole class. So it really worked out well, and then we were able to have a very full room for our speaker. So encouraging your students at every turn to start this process of career exploration is going to be really important. Hopefully you can now use the new skills that you've learned either as an employer or as a student in that networking kind of column to really talk to your students about networking. What does it mean to network? How can you do it? And now we can try to assist them to get over their nerves of starting up that conversation. And then hopefully now you can create a plan for your office and for your campus in career development.